Restoration is the idea of bringing something back to its original state, or even better than it was before. It's about healing, renewal, and transformation. Whether we're talking about physical objects, relationships, or personal experiences, restoration takes what has been broken, worn out, or damaged and restores it to wholeness. This process is often long and it's rarely easy, but it's always worth it. When we experience loss, whether it's time, opportunities, or even parts of ourselves, we sometimes believe that what has been lost is gone forever. Yet restoration teaches us that nothing is truly beyond hope. Lost opportunities can be reclaimed, time that seems wasted can be redeemed, and even brokenness can lead to a more resilient and stronger version of ourselves. It's important to understand that restoration isn't just about returning to where we were. It's about becoming something better than we were, finding value in the process of healing, and embracing the lessons learned along the way. True restoration isn't about ignoring the past or pretending that the damage didn't happen. It's about recognizing that the past can coexist with the present and the future. The pieces of our broken experiences can be reassembled in new ways, and those very scars or mistakes may be the very things that help us grow and become more whole. In this sense, restoration isn't merely a return to an old state, it's a transformation, where something new emerges from the old. The beauty of restoration is that it shows us that even in the most difficult circumstances, there is always the potential for new beginnings. Moreover, restoration requires patience. It's not something that happens overnight. And there may be moments where the process feels slow or uncertain. But with time, the pieces will come together. And what once seemed irreparable will begin to take shape in ways we never imagined. It's in these moments of waiting and trusting the process that we discover the true power of restoration. It's not only about what is restored, but also about what we become through the process. Loss is an inevitable part of life, and it can take many forms. It might be the loss of time, the loss of a relationship, the loss of opportunities, or even the loss of a sense of self. Loss often feels like a heavy burden, as though something essential has been taken from us, leaving an emptiness that can be hard to fill. Sometimes this loss is something we didn't expect or didn't anticipate, and it can catch us off guard. Other times it's something we saw coming, but we still feel unprepared for the emotional toll it takes. When we lose something important, it can feel as though a part of us has been lost too. Whether it's a dream we had to let go of, a chance we missed, or someone we loved, the pain of loss can leave us with a sense of disorientation and grief. We may struggle to understand why it happened, or even question our own worth or value because of what we've lost. It's easy to feel as though we've been deprived, as though life has been unfair. And in these moments, it's natural to feel a sense of hopelessness, or even to wish we could turn back time and undo the loss. Yet, loss is also a part of growth. While it's painful and often unwelcome, it's a reminder of how much we care about the things we lose. It also forces us to reckon with our own vulnerability and humanity, making us aware of our own limitations. Loss, in its rawest form, can feel like a fracture, something that divides us from what we once had. But paradoxically, it's also in this fracture that we can discover our capacity for resilience and healing. It's important to recognize that loss doesn't always mean finality. Just because something is lost doesn't mean it's gone forever. Time can be a powerful healer, and the way we understand loss can evolve over time. In the moment, we may feel like we've lost something we'll never regain. But looking back, we might see that some of our greatest growth came through our ability to cope with, adapt to, and even embrace the lessons loss brings. It might be that in the wake of loss, we find new opportunities, new relationships, or even a deeper understanding of ourselves. The truth about loss is that while it can take something away, it also opens the door for something new to take its place. But it's up to us to decide how we respond to it. Will we let it define us? Will we allow ourselves to be paralyzed by it? Or will we choose to believe that while we may have lost something, the future still holds the promise of something good, something even greater than what we once had? That's the challenging but empowering truth. Loss doesn't have to be the end. It can be a turning point, a catalyst for change and renewal. The power of renewal lies in its ability to breathe new life into situations, dreams, and people who might otherwise feel spent or exhausted. Renewal is about starting fresh, but it's also about transforming what already exists. It's a process of regeneration, of taking something that has become worn down, lost its vitality, or even seeing beyond hope, and revitalizing it with new energy, purpose, and direction. It doesn't require perfection, nor does it need to happen all at once. What makes renewal so powerful is its capacity to begin, often in small, subtle ways, and gradually create profound change. Sometimes renewal comes when we least expect it, perhaps in a moment of quiet reflection, or when we take a step back from the chaos of life and realize that things don't have to stay as they are. It might emerge after a season of struggle or difficulty, when we find ourselves ready to let go of the past and embrace a new possibility. Renewal is not limited by age, by past mistakes, or by circumstances. It is a constant force available to anyone who is willing to embrace it. In fact, the very challenges or setbacks we face in life can become the fertile soil in which renewal takes root, as they give us the strength to reassess, reframe, and reinvent what is possible for our lives. Renewal is not just about returning to what we once were or what we thought we had lost. It's about evolving into something better, something wiser, more capable, and more attuned to what really matters. It's about moving forward with a deeper sense of purpose, having learned from the past but not being bound by it. In this sense, renewal isn't about erasing history or pretending that the old ways didn't exist. It's about acknowledging the lessons learned from them and using that wisdom to fuel our next chapter. It's the wisdom to know that even when things seem spent or over, there's always the potential for something new to emerge, something even greater than what came before. This power of renewal often requires us to make space in our lives mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. It asks us to let go of limiting beliefs, old hurts, and outdated perspectives, creating room for growth and transformation. Renewal encourages us to be open to new ideas, new paths, and even new identities. It challenges us to embrace change, not as something to fear, but as an opportunity to grow beyond our current limitations. Through this process, we gain resilience, adaptability, and a renewed sense of hope. Renewal also has a communal aspect to it. Just as individuals can be renewed, so too can relationships, communities, and even entire nations. When people come together with a shared vision of renewal, whether it's to rebuild something that's been lost or to create something new from the ground up, there is a collective power that can create lasting change. Renewal is a dynamic force. It's not passive. It's something we actively participate in, whether through our thoughts, actions, or beliefs. At its core, the power of renewal is about possibility. It reminds us that the past does not have to define us and that the future is never fully written. No matter how worn out or beaten down we may feel, renewal offers the hope that we can begin again, that we can reinvent ourselves, and that our best days may still be ahead. It's a powerful reminder that nothing, no mistake, no loss, no failure is too great to overcome, and that transformation, growth, and healing are always possible. Through renewal, we find strength, wisdom, and the courage to step into a new beginning, confident that life has more to offer than we ever imagined. Embracing second chances is about recognizing that life isn't a straight path, but a journey filled with detours, setbacks, and opportunities to start anew. A second chance is often seen as a gift, one that allows us to correct a mistake, seize an opportunity we once overlooked, or rebuild something we thought was lost. But it's not just about getting another shot at the same thing. It's about the opportunity for growth, for learning, and for transformation. It's about the grace to try again, but this time with more wisdom, more awareness, and more clarity. Second chances remind us that we are not defined by our failures or mistakes, but by our ability to rise from them. Too often we get caught in the narrative that one mistake, one misstep, one failure means it's all over, that we've blown our one shot at success or happiness. But the truth is that we are constantly evolving, and no single moment defines our future unless we allow it to. The power of a second chance lies in its ability to open the door to new possibilities. It offers us the freedom to reset, to shift our perspective, and to pursue what truly matters to us with a fresh outlook. What makes second chances so powerful is that they allow us to undo the limitations we place on ourselves. We can be our own harshest critics, holding on to guilt, shame, or regret for things that have already passed. But second chances challenge us to let go of these limiting beliefs and understand that we don't have to be perfect to move forward. Life is full of opportunities to learn, to try again, and to do things differently. It's through these moments of trial and error that we often discover our deepest strengths and capabilities. The beauty of a second chance is that it's rarely about returning to the way things were, but about creating something better. Sometimes the first attempt at something, whether it's a career, a relationship, or a personal goal, teaches us valuable lessons we couldn't have learned any other way. The second chance is the opportunity to apply those lessons, to approach the situation with greater insight, and to create a new outcome that aligns more closely with who we are becoming. In this sense, second chances don't just give us a fresh start, they give us the chance to move closer to our true potential. Embracing second chances also requires a shift in how we view failure. Rather than seeing it as an end, we begin to see failure as part of the process of growth. Every setback can be a lesson in disguise, a necessary step toward clarity and success. When we give ourselves permission to try again, we are not only forgiving ourselves for the past, but we are also making room for the future. We are acknowledging that life is not about perfection, but about progress, and that every new attempt brings us closer to who we are meant to be. However, second chances don't just come from external circumstances, they also come from within. They are rooted in the decision to not give up on ourselves. They require us to believe in the possibility of change, to have the courage to try again, even when the outcome is uncertain. It's about letting go of the fear that we might fail again, and instead trusting that even if we do, we will be better for it. When we embrace second chances, we are also embracing the idea of resilience, the understanding that setbacks and struggles are not the end of the story, but rather part of the human experience. It's in the moments where we are given the opportunity to begin again that we discover how deeply we are capable of growing, adapting, and rising to meet new challenges. Second chances are not just a do-over, they are a chance to do better, to do more, and to move closer to the life we've always wanted. Ultimately, embracing second chances is about embracing hope. It's about trusting that no matter how far we've fallen or how many times we've stumbled, the path forward is always open to us. And the most powerful thing about second chances is that they are never truly limited. Life offers us them again and again in different forms and at different times. As long as we are willing to believe in new beginnings, we will always have the opportunity to start again, stronger and wiser than before. Patience is often one of the most underrated virtues in our fast-paced world, yet it is one of the most powerful forces when it comes to achieving long-term success and personal growth. In a culture that constantly urges us to rush, to hurry, and to achieve everything yesterday, patience can feel like a difficult quality to cultivate. But the truth is, patience is not about passivity or waiting idly for things to happen. It's about having the wisdom and the strength to endure, to allow things to unfold in their own time, and to trust that good things will come if we remain steadfast and committed. Patience teaches us that some of the most important things in life take time. Whether it's the development of a skill, the healing of a relationship, or the growth of a personal dream, the process often requires more than just effort, it requires time. And time is something that cannot be rushed. It's easy to become discouraged when results don't come as quickly as we hope, but real progress is often slow, incremental, and sometimes unseen in the moment. What patience provides is the ability to stay the course even when immediate results are not visible, knowing that steady effort over time will eventually lead to success. In many ways, patience is about learning to trust the process. It's about letting go of the need for immediate gratification and understanding that lasting change or achievement is not a quick fix. It requires faith that even when we can't see the progress, the work we are putting in is building towards something meaningful. Patience helps us to endure the tough moments, knowing that the path we are walking is leading us somewhere good, even if the destination isn't yet in sight. It teaches us to trust in timing, both the timing of our lives and the timing of things beyond our control. Patience is also deeply connected to the idea of resilience. When we face setbacks, disappointments, or obstacles, it's easy to become frustrated or disheartened. But patience helps us to withstand these difficulties with grace. It encourages us to take a step back, to breathe, and to regain perspective. Rather than reacting impulsively to challenges or giving up at the first sign of difficulty, patience teaches us to approach problems with calmness, clarity, and a level-headed attitude. Through this approach, we become more resilient, more adaptable, and ultimately more successful in the long run. Moreover, patience fosters a deeper sense of peace. In a world that constantly demands urgency, it can be hard to find moments of stillness and contentment. But patience allows us to embrace the present moment, to be okay with where we are right now, even as we work toward the future. It teaches us that things don't always need to happen according to our own timetable, and that it's okay to let go of the need for control. By accepting that some things are beyond our influence and learning to trust that they will unfold in their own time, we can experience a profound sense of calm and acceptance. Patience also plays a crucial role in relationships. Often we expect others to change, grow, or evolve in ways that align with our own expectations and timelines. But when we practice patience, we allow others the space to be themselves and to grow at their own pace. We stop trying to force things to happen and instead create an environment where understanding and empathy can flourish. In relationships, whether with family, friends, or even in romantic partnerships, patience allows us to navigate challenges without rushing to conclusions and to stay committed through difficult times, trusting that things will improve if we give them the time they need. Patience is ultimately a lesson in self-control and emotional intelligence. It challenges us to manage our impulses, to resist the urge to push for quick results, and to develop a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. It teaches us that we don't need to rush to feel fulfilled, and that sometimes the most rewarding experiences are those that take time to unfold. In the end, patience is not just about waiting. It's about how we wait and what we do during the waiting period. It's about learning to endure the hard seasons, staying committed to our goals even when progress seems slow, and trusting that with time, things will fall into place. When we embrace patience, we open ourselves up to a deeper understanding of the natural rhythms of life and gain the resilience to face whatever comes our way with confidence, clarity, and calm. Patience isn't a passive act, it's an active choice to trust in the process, to embrace the journey, and to believe that good things are worth the wait. Setbacks are a natural part of life, but they don't have to define us or determine the course of our future. In fact, the way we respond to setbacks often has more power than the setback itself. Every challenge, every failure, and every obstacle presents an opportunity not just to recover, but to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Turning a setback into a comeback requires a shift in perspective. Instead of seeing it as an end, we choose to view it as a new beginning, a chance to rebuild, reinvent, and push forward with greater determination. The first step in turning a setback into a comeback is embracing it rather than resisting it. When faced with difficulties, it's easy to feel defeated, frustrated, or even angry at the unfairness of it all. However, the most powerful thing we can do is accept the setback as part of our journey. This doesn't mean we give up or resign ourselves to failure. Rather, it means acknowledging that challenges are a natural part of growth. Setbacks are not signs of weakness. They are signs that we're pushing the boundaries, stepping outside of our comfort zones, and trying something that requires effort and courage. Embracing the setback means giving ourselves the grace to feel disappointed, but not letting that disappointment paralyze us. Once we accept that setbacks are part of the process, we can begin to see them as opportunities for learning and growth. Every mistake, every failure teaches us something valuable. Whether it's a lesson in perseverance, a realization about what works and what doesn't, or an insight into our own strengths and weaknesses, setbacks offer us a mirror through which we can better understand ourselves and our path forward. It's not always easy to extract the lessons from difficult moments, but when we choose to learn from them, we transform them into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. The key is to be reflective, to ask ourselves what went wrong and how we can use this knowledge to improve our next attempt. A comeback is also about adjusting our mindset. Instead of focusing on what went wrong or how far we've fallen, we must refocus on where we want to go and why it matters. It's easy to get bogged down in regret or to become fixated on our perceived shortcomings. But the most powerful comebacks come when we redirect our energy toward the future rather than getting stuck in the past. This shift in focus is what propels us forward. It's the belief that even though things haven't gone according to plan, we are still capable of reaching our goals and fulfilling our purpose. When we adopt a mindset that setbacks are temporary, we set the stage for resilience and determination to lead us toward a greater version of ourselves. Turning setbacks into comebacks also requires action. It's one thing to reflect on what went wrong, but it's another to take the necessary steps to move forward. A comeback doesn't happen by simply wishing for things to change. It requires consistent, intentional effort. It might involve reevaluating our strategies, revisiting our goals, or simply finding the courage to try again, even when we're unsure of the outcome. The key is to keep moving, to keep pushing through, even when the path feels unclear. Action, even small steps, generates momentum, and this momentum is what eventually turns setbacks into comebacks. Resilience is a crucial component of making a comeback. It's the ability to bounce back after adversity, to keep going when things feel difficult or uncertain. Resilience is built over time, not by avoiding challenges, but by facing them head on and learning how to adapt. Each time we encounter a setback and continue on, we become more resilient, and that resilience compounds, making us stronger with every challenge we overcome. As we face setbacks, we build the mental, emotional, and physical strength to recover faster, navigate obstacles more effectively, and maintain our focus on our long-term goals. Another key to turning setbacks into comebacks is the ability to ask for help. No one achieves success alone, and when we face difficulties, it's important to reach out for support. Whether it's through a mentor, a friend, or a community, asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Others can offer perspectives, advice, and encouragement that may not be obvious to us when we're in the midst of the setback. In times of struggle, leaning on others can provide us with the motivation and insight we need to rise again. Ultimately, the most inspiring comebacks are the ones that show us the value of persistence, self-belief, and the willingness to take risks. Setbacks teach us that success is not linear. It's a winding road with peaks and valleys, with moments of doubt and moments of triumph. But if we can keep our eyes on the horizon, stay focused on our goals, and continue to put one foot in front of the other, we will find that setbacks are not the end of our story. They are merely chapters that teach us what it means to fight, to learn, and to grow. A true comeback is not about bouncing back to where we were before. It's about coming back stronger, wiser, and more determined than we ever were. It's the realization that failure doesn't have to be permanent. It's simply a part of the journey that can ultimately lead to something greater. Regret is a powerful and often overwhelming emotion. It's a feeling that can haunt us long after the moment has passed, especially when we look back on decisions we wish we had made differently. Whether it's a choice we regret, a path we didn't take, or a missed opportunity, regret can weigh heavily on our hearts and minds. It has a way of tethering us to the past, making us feel as though we are defined by our mistakes or the chances we let slip away. But here's the truth: while regret is natural, it doesn't have to be our final destination. In fact, beyond regret lies something far more powerful: hope. The power of hope lies in its ability to transform. When we choose to live with hope beyond regret, we begin to see that every day is a chance to rewrite our story. We stop seeing our past mistakes as chains that keep us tethered to a certain identity and start viewing them as experiences that shaped us, strengthened us, and ultimately prepared us for the journey ahead. Hope allows us to reframe our narrative, to take ownership of our story without being shackled by it. We realize that our worth is not determined by what we regret, but by the choices we make moving forward. Finally, hope beyond regret is about trust, the trust that the future holds more for us than we could ever imagine. We may not always know how things will unfold, but we can trust that our experiences, both good and bad, have prepared us for what is to come. We can trust that even when the road seems unclear or the weight of the past feels heavy, there is still beauty, possibility, and growth ahead. Regret may be a part of our journey, but it doesn't have to be the end of it. The story is not over. In fact, the best chapters are often written after we let go of the past and fully embrace the future with hope. In the end, living beyond regret is about living fully in the present moment, recognizing that we are not prisoners of our past mistakes, but active participants in the creation of our future. Every step we take from this moment forward is a step toward the life we desire, free from the weight of regret and full of possibility. The key is to embrace the lessons of the past, forgive ourselves for our missteps, and believe that the future still holds incredible promise. Hope beyond regret is not just a belief in new beginnings, it's the understanding that the best is yet to come. You said, the value of growth through trials, expand it without headings. Growth through trials is one of life's most profound and transformative experiences. It's easy to assume that growth happens in comfortable, calm moments when everything is going according to plan. But the truth is, the most significant growth often comes during the times when life is difficult, when we're stretched beyond our limits, and when we feel most challenged. Trials, whether they are personal struggles, difficult circumstances, or unexpected setbacks, are not the obstacles they may appear to be. In fact, they are often the very catalysts that help us evolve into stronger, wiser, and more capable individuals. Growth through trials also requires a mindset shift. It's easy to view setbacks as failures, but often they are just stepping stones on the path to something greater. The key is in how we choose to interpret the trial. When faced with adversity, we can either see ourselves as victims of circumstance or as individuals being shaped by the experience. If we view the trial as an opportunity for growth, we are more likely to emerge from it not just unscathed, but stronger and more equipped for the next challenge. It's in the midst of difficulty that we often learn our most valuable lessons, not just about the world around us, but about who we are, what we're capable of, and what truly matters. Part of shifting focus to the future is developing a sense of purpose. When we become clear about our goals and what we want to achieve, we create a roadmap that guides us forward. Having a vision for the future not only gives us something to strive for, but it also helps us navigate the uncertainties of life with confidence. Knowing what we want to accomplish gives us a sense of direction, even when the path ahead is unclear. When we focus on what we want to achieve, we are less likely to be distracted by past mistakes or fears about the future. We recognize that what matters most is where we are going, not where we've been. Purpose provides us with the motivation to keep going, even when things are difficult, and it ensures that every step we take is aligned with the future we're working toward. Another important aspect of shifting focus toward the future is recognizing that setbacks do not define us, they refine us. Everyone encounters obstacles on the path to their goals, but setbacks are not permanent roadblocks, they are part of the process. When we face challenges, it's easy to become discouraged and feel like we've hit a dead end. However, looking toward the future allows us to view setbacks as learning opportunities. Each obstacle we overcome teaches us something new about our resilience, our problem-solving abilities, and our capacity for growth. Rather than viewing difficulties as failures, we can reframe them as stepping stones that prepare us for the future. This mindset shift empowers us to keep moving forward, knowing that every challenge is an opportunity to become stronger, wiser, and more capable. Shifting focus to the future also means letting go of the need for perfection. It's easy to get bogged down by the fear of making mistakes or not living up to expectations. Perfectionism can paralyze us, keeping us from taking action and from making progress. But the future is not about perfection, it's about progress. As we shift our focus, we begin to understand that the journey ahead is not about avoiding mistakes or staying within the lines. It's about growing through our experiences, learning as we go, and embracing the imperfections along the way. Each imperfect step forward is a valuable part of the journey, and it's through action, imperfect as it may be, that we build momentum toward our future. shifting focus toward the future is also a call to action. It's not enough to simply hope for a better future. We must take concrete steps to create it. Every day offers us the opportunity to take a step toward the future we envision. Whether it's learning a new skill, building a new habit, or reaching out to someone for support, the actions we take today shape the reality of tomorrow. By staying focused on the future, we align our actions with our aspirations, moving us closer to the life we desire. It's about taking responsibility for our future and understanding that while we cannot control every circumstance, we can control how we respond, what we prioritize, and how we move forward. Ultimately, shifting focus toward the future is about living with intention and purpose. It's about understanding that while we cannot change what's behind us, we have the power to shape what's ahead. The future is a gift. It's an open field of possibilities waiting for us to step into it with hope, clarity, and determination. By redirecting our attention to what's next, we give ourselves the freedom to grow, to evolve, and to build the life we truly want. Every day is a new chance to write the next chapter of our story, and the future holds infinite potential for those who are willing to embrace it with an open heart and an unwavering belief in what's possible. Trusting in a greater plan is one of the most transformative and liberating acts of faith we can engage in. Life often unfolds in ways we don't expect, and at times it feels as though we are navigating through uncertainty, confusion, or even hardship. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when things don't go as planned or when we encounter obstacles that seem insurmountable. Yet, in the midst of these challenges, trusting in a greater plan allows us to surrender our need for control and find peace, knowing that there is a purpose greater than what we can see in the moment. This trust doesn't necessarily mean that everything will go the way we want, but rather that there is a deeper current guiding us towards something meaningful, even if we can't fully comprehend it right now. At its core, trust in a greater plan is about having faith in the process of life, even when it doesn't align with our personal timelines or expectations. It is the belief that we are not wandering aimlessly, but are part of something larger and more purposeful. Sometimes we can become fixated on our own desires, plans, or the outcomes we hope for, but when we trust in a greater plan, we open ourselves to the possibility that there is something better on the horizon, something we may not yet understand, but that is ultimately in our best interest. This trust requires a shift in perspective. It's easy to view life through a narrow lens, focusing only on what's immediately in front of us. We set goals, create expectations, and chart out the steps we think are necessary to reach our desired outcomes. But life rarely unfolds according to our exact blueprint. There are twists, turns, setbacks, and surprises along the way. Trusting in a greater plan asks us to zoom out and see the bigger picture. It's about acknowledging that while we can make choices and set intentions, there are forces beyond our understanding, whether it's the timing of events, the influence of others, or a greater divine purpose that play a role in shaping our path. When we trust in the greater plan, we begin to let go of the need to control every detail of our lives. This doesn't mean we become passive or complacent. Rather, we learn to take action with the understanding that we are not the sole architects of our future. Life has a rhythm that we may not always understand, but if we remain open and adaptable, we can learn to dance with it. Trusting in a greater plan doesn't mean we stop making choices or striving for our goals. It simply means we stop trying to force everything to unfold according to our limited vision. We acknowledge that sometimes what we think we want isn't what's best for us, and that there may be a better, more fulfilling path waiting just beyond our current horizon. Trust also means having the courage to surrender control when life doesn't unfold as expected. Whether it's the loss of a job, the end of a relationship, or a personal setback, these moments can feel like failures or signs that something is wrong. But in reality, they may be redirections towards something far better. Trusting in a greater plan asks us to release our attachment to a specific outcome and believe that, in time, things will make sense. It means letting go of the need to understand everything in the moment and allowing space for life to reveal itself to us in its own time. This kind of trust is not passive resignation, but a proactive surrender, a choice to let life unfold with the faith that it's guiding us toward the right places, people, and experiences. Furthermore, trusting in a greater plan also invites us to cultivate patience. In a world that prioritizes instant results, we can easily become frustrated when things don't happen as quickly as we want. But trust teaches us that timing matters and that rushing towards something before we're ready may not serve us in the long run. Some of the most significant moments in life happen in their own time, and learning to trust the process allows us to move through life with greater ease. It's about understanding that some things must unfold slowly for the right lessons to be learned and the right opportunities to arise. Patience becomes a form of trust, trusting that what is meant for us will come when the time is right, and that each moment of waiting is part of a larger divine timing. There's also a deep sense of peace that comes from trusting in a greater plan. When we stop fighting against the flow of life, when we let go of the need to have all the answers, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress and anxiety. Trust provides us with the assurance that we are not alone in our journey, that there is guidance, support, and wisdom beyond what we can perceive with our limited vision. It allows us to release the need to worry about every detail and instead focus on living fully in the present moment, trusting that each step we take is leading us toward where we need to be. Trusting in a greater plan also means recognizing that every challenge, hardship, and detour serves a purpose. Difficult times are never wasted. They shape us, mold us, and refine us into the person we are meant to become. When we face adversity, it's easy to ask, why me? But in the context of a greater plan, the question becomes, what is this experience teaching me? Life's trials are often the stepping stones that lead us to deeper wisdom, greater strength, and a more profound understanding of who we are and what we're capable of. They are part of the process, not the end of the road. Trusting in a greater plan helps us understand that even in our struggles, we are being guided towards something meaningful. Ultimately, trust in a greater plan is about faith, faith in life, faith in the journey, and faith in the fact that everything happens for a reason, even if we don't understand the reasons right now. It's the belief that our story is part of something larger than ourselves and that every twist and turn is leading us toward our highest good. Trusting in a greater plan is about surrendering to life's unfolding with the confidence that no matter what happens, we are exactly where we need to be in this moment, and that the future holds greater things than we can even imagine. It's a deep knowing that our lives are not just a series of random events, but a purposeful journey, and that with each day we are moving closer to fulfilling that purpose.